I believe video is the #1 productivity hack of anything I've ever implemented in my business. And today I'm going to share with you all the reasons, the 7-ish reasons why I think it is so. Okay, so I've talked about video in the past as being a tool that I use very regularly in my business. And I've done this for the past 6 or 7 years. Before that, I had never used video as a tool for communication, for collaboration, for sharing of ideas, for teaching or training, or anything besides. But over the past 6 or so years, I've started heavily working with virtual assistants, with remote workers from around the world. And that's when I really started to see the value of it. And as I've worked with more and more clients, hundreds of clients, in fact, over the past 6 or 7 years, I've seen the massive impact it's had on those businesses as well, both for in-house staff who are working, in the same office, but also, and sometimes more obviously, for people who are working remotely. But the effects and the benefits are equal. And it's something that it doesn't matter what type of business you have or where you're based in the world or where your staff are based. Using video in the ways I'm going to describe in this episode will cause you to have a significant increase in the amount of work that gets done, in the speed that people do it, in the reducing the time it takes to teach people how to do stuff, and also in the amount of time wasted in unnecessarily long meetings and on the distraction and interruption of people asking for help. Now, let's get going. I hope I've sold the reasons why you should be listening to this. And then we'll go into it. I'm just laughing in the background because you might be able to hear my 9-month-old son having a bit of a screaming fit. But there you go. The joys of working from home and recording a podcast. I'm soon to be moving to a new studio, which will be soundproof, which I'll be very, very happy about. Anyway, let's crack on. All right. So the first thing I want to say is about screenshots. Now, screenshots is how I first got into sharing ideas, thinking I was really clever. I used to take a screenshot of something, like talking with a graphic designer or a web developer, and I'd point arrows onto it and I'd put overlays onto it and I'd blur out information if I needed to, and I'd share it. I think, yeah, this is really good, a really good use of my time. A picture says 1,000 words, I think the expression is. However, the minute you click record and get your words in there, and actually a moving picture with your mouse or pointer showing on the screen where you are, indicating where you're actually talking about, and be able to move from screen to screen and picture to picture or website to website, whatever it is you're doing, like the amount of information you can convey is just infinitely increased. And it's so much so that when we get our clients to submit help to us, we don't accept people to do it by text, not even by images. They have to do it by video because sometimes they don't know what they don't know. So on the video, we'll see something they weren't even aware of. And that allows us to then help them much quicker with less to and froing, therefore reducing the time it takes us to get the result that they want, the resolution to their issue. And that ultimately, it reduces the burden on my team supporting them as well. So it's a win-win for both of us. And this is a really good trick for when you are getting help from a software company or any service company, or you work with a coach, like us, a systems coach or a business coach or a marketing coach, and you want to get their advice on something. Don't write it. Don't take a screenshot of it. Do a video, send it to them, and explain in that video, in your own words, exactly what you want to help with. And if you have nothing to show them, just hit record and have a blank screen, or record your face. You can get a facial expression, etc. in there as well. You build rapport, build trust with people, all the rest of it. I'll talk about that more in a second. But the idea is you can speak and give depth to your question and your solution, or whatever it is you're actually trying to communicate, far, far more quickly and more effectively using spoken word than using written. We've been speaking as a species a lot longer than we've been writing, and we're quite good at it and good at storytelling. So use that talent that we have. Use your voice to get help in a much, much quicker way. So that's why I've now very, very rarely used screenshots on my business, but instead use video instead. Now, the other thing, which is, I just touched on it then, which is really important bonus of using video is, yeah, it's quick. Yeah, it's full of depth, it's full of information, and you can convey lots of meaning and blah, blah, blah. But also you can build rapport massively quickly far, far quicker. And actually, I'd say very difficult to build rapport and trust with somebody based on just text messaging or emailing, because you can misinterpret what someone says, or you basically turn it into whatever mood you're in your head. You can almost interpret the words in the way you want them to be. However, when you're listening to someone's voice while you're seeing their expression on their face, and you see, they're smiling, or they're looking concerned, or they're looking just genuinely interested, or they're looking at the camera, so it feels like they're actually giving you eye contact. It tricks our brains into thinking that they're with us, and it gives us that feeling of connection with that person. And that is hugely valuable in business, both when you're trying to connect with, clients or customers, but also when you're trying to build trusting relationships with your existing or your new team members. And especially if they're not working or living in the same community, or they're working in the same office as you, people that you never meet face to face, or rarely meet face to face. Having that visual connection with someone is really important, and it can go a long way to building really trusting, lasting relationships, which I think would be very, very difficult through any other medium. Now, or it would take a lot more effort and more time, I should say. And so moving on from this, in that when you are trying to give feedback to your staff, when you're trying to actually give them either advice or praise them, or just work with them to improve something, or do some coaching with them, and you're not able to sort of sit next to them and look at them in the eyes and be there and have the body language that you have when you're looking at something, all the non-verbal cues, etc., the stuff that's meant to take up the vast majority of communication. If you're not able to do that face to face, and doing it over video means that when you give that feedback, people can see how you mean it to come across, so they don't end up interpreting it in a really negative way, getting offended and ruining the trust that you've been building up so well. So using video in key communication points, if you're not able to meet face to face, can really help you to maintain relationships, even if what you're actually talking about could be perceived in a negative way if you sort of sent it by a text written email or something like that, which can be so easily misinterpreted, especially when you're working in different cultures and the way that you read something, and there's subtlety of words and language. Even working with people who learn American English versus English, like UK English, then the difference in the subtle use of words can really change the meaning of a sentence. And we've had lots of issues with this in the past, with me misinterpreting what my staff mean because they're taught in American English. And it's just so easy to avoid that by actually just saying, look, just send us a video and show them what you're talking about. And then it sort of gets rid of 90%, not 100%, but 90% of the thing. So when you're giving feedback, having that ability to see somebody, get visual cues, see body language, facial expression, all the rest of it is so, so important. So again, a massive, massive bonus of working with video. So number four, of the 7 things, or 8 things I'm going to share with you, is that collaborating with somebody, whether they're sat in the office next to you or they're sat on the other side of the world, by using video, so recording a video, not having a Zoom meeting, that's something different, but recording a video and sending it to someone else to watch in their own time, when they've got time set aside to listen to your problems, because it's your problem, you're probably sending to them, or maybe a solution to their problem, that's also fine. But the idea is that you're sending it in what we call asynchronous video. So you're sending it asynchronously, as in you're not there synchronously at the same time talking to each other. You record it, you send it, they watch it when they want to. It's a bit like a text message or an email. You choose when you read that text. Now, I actually have my ringer, my notifications turned off on my phone because I don't want to get interrupted. But some people don't, but I do, because I want to choose when I answer my text message, when I answer my emails, when I answer my WhatsApps, whatever it is. And this is the same thing. If people get into good habits about when they watch videos, when they actually listen to whatever it is that's coming through, then you can set aside time in the day to make sure they're doing that without interrupting their most valuable time, their most valuable high productive work times. So it reduces interruptions. It reduces also the time taken during the discussion. Me and my business partner used to have the most long-winded discussions of meetings. We went on for hours and hours and hours sometimes, literally hours and hours sometimes. And yet then we decided to cut that down to an absolute minimum and start communicating via video. And again, apologies if you can hear my background. My other son's now joining in, who's 9 years old, and 7 years old. And so What was I saying then? Yeah, and so by doing that and by switching to asynchronous video rather than having live meetings, we cut our meeting times down massively, but actually our productivity didn't change. And it probably even went up because we weren't actually getting really frustrated by having these long discussions. It also forces you to focus. So what am I going to say in this video? And you get it done. It happens much quicker and you get it over. It's one point. You don't get sidetracked with the tangents and whatever because you don't have the opportunity. So you do what you get your question in, you put it in, you get good habits about, how you communicate one question in one video. That's a really good thing. Send it over and then you send it to that person to then view at the time it's convenient to them, not at the time it's convenient to you. And therefore you're not interrupting people's days. And then finally, when they open that video to watch it at the time that's best for them, they can watch it double speed if they want to, or 1.5 speed, and therefore reducing the time needed to absorb the message you're trying to communicate with them, and then vice versa, you can flip it around. So you can massively reduce the interruptions, the time spent in meetings, and also the time watching the actual communication by using video as well. Now, the next one, number 5, demonstrating and training. So if you're trying to onboard somebody new, you don't have a training system set up or whatever, and you're trying to show somebody how to do something, then of course do it. Show them how to do it, but hit record. Record your screen, record your voice, use a Zoom meeting to record it with the purpose of then having that video with both of you having communication about that onboarding activity that you can share with the next person so you don't have to repeat yourself. So it allows you to cut down the time taken to repeatedly do training, etc., for people in your business. And again, it can be watched at 1.5 speed or double speed, or even paused and stopped and rewound, etc., etc. So it gives them a much more rich medium for them to absorb that information. Now, number 6, maybe 7. Another great use of video, and probably the biggest use in our business above just general communication around just pinging, as I mentioned before, about pinging things to and fro and getting feedback and input from people. The biggest thing is probably about documenting how we do stuff, and we want to have the best practice in our business emulated by everybody. So we'll find the person who is the best at doing something. They'll be the knowledgeable worker, the key knowledgeable worker in that particular task. And we'll get them to record what they're doing because they may have found a better way to do an existing process. But by getting the best person to record what they're doing and then sharing that amongst everyone else as the standard training, the baseline training, this is what you're going to emulate now. We've now basically multiplied the best practices across a whole business, rather than everyone having their own way of doing something and it may be better or maybe worse or whatever. So we want to keep that continual improvement by continually finding out who's doing the best stuff and then sharing it with everybody else. And we use video for doing that. And the great thing is, because of having apps, I'll talk about in a second about some apps, that you literally just do the work you're going to do anyway, hit record. It doesn't take you any extra time. And you just record what you're doing, maybe narrate it through as you're doing it. And this is what we train people on as part of our systemization process. But it allows you to then capture exactly the how-to of a process without actually taking any extra time and writing long-winded operation manuals and all that nonsense that people have done for many years and many people still do. It's not necessary. There are some things you need to include, and I've talked about that at length in the other podcasts. But the idea is that the essence, the how-to of the video can be captured very, very quickly. Next thing, and the last thing I'm going to talk about, is social media. So one of the things that seems to get a lot of hits at the moment on social media is that sort of day in the life of, that documentary, fly on the wall, behind the scenes type video footage from your business. Doesn't matter what it is, I always get more likes and comments. And just speaking to one of my clients today who runs a health spa, and she also said the highest sort of performing posts they ever do on social media are always of demonstrations by live people doing treatments or whatever in their business. And we do a lot of behind the scenes sort of stuff as well. And our social media, it seems to work quite well. And those sorts of videos are getting really easy to capture using, those sorts of posts are really easy to capture using a video, and then you can edit the video. If you've got some tools, I'll talk about that in a second as well. And then just basically doing what you do anyway, you can then create really engaging posts. And with a bit of editing, you can then make them into really, really engaging posts. And that's it, really. So really today, what I talked about in summary, before I just jump onto the tools that we actually use, are that I believe that screenshots are totally outdated. that using video is way, way better than the 1,000 words that a image can convey. It can convey multiples of that in a much more quicker way that allows you to communicate at a bigger depth and also avoids the misinterpretation of what you're trying to say and how you're trying to say it. It allows you to give feedback with emotion, with facial expression to build rapport. It allows you to collaborate far, far more effectively by doing asynchronous video communication to reduce interruptions, to allow you to focus on what you're talking about and absolutely minimize the time spent on any discussion, but you get the same stuff done. You can watch any video at double speed and you can use it to create incredible training and also best practices videos throughout your business. It also allows you to capture what it is you're doing every day, share it on social media to get really compelling and engaging posts. So there are many reasons why you should be using more video in your business, and this is just a handful of the top ones I could think of today. The last thing I wanted to share with were the tools that we actually use at the moment. So I've been using a tool called Screencast-O-Matic for many years now. They've recently rebranded to ScreenPal. It's exactly the same tool with a new brand and a new look. So added features actually. So really cool AI text recognition features, which they've just added recently. But fundamentally, it's a very solid app that improves all the time, allows you to do screen capture, screenshots, editing those, and sharing them all seamlessly for free, or if you have a paid version like me, in the host without the need to, I'm laughing because my son is making an absolute racket in the background. It allows you to host videos, host screenshots into the cloud without having any additional cloud storage. It happens instantly the minute you hit stop, and allows you to share that link directly with anyone without having to go and find it or move it or host it or share it, whatever. It's literally, as you finish the video, the link's copied to your clipboard. You can paste that, send it to somebody, and that is the key. Whatever app you choose, that is the key to making this something that you use 50 times a day, 100 times a day, rather than doing once a day or something that you might, if you choose to use something like Zoom to record a video, and then you have to wait for it to compress and do its thing, and then you find it and you share it and blah, blah, blah. It's a total nonsense. You need an app that's designed for quick sharing of videos, automatically host it, and ScreenPal is a great example of that. Other ones that people use are things like Loom. There are probably others as well, actually, but I've literally been using ScreenPal and love it for so long that that's what I've been using. And that's the one I recommend. We're going to put a link to it, and this is the first time ever it's going to be a affiliate link. I don't even know what the word was because I've not used one before. So it's going to be an affiliate link. I don't really care if you use the affiliate link or not. I'm just interested to see, so we can actually track how many people click it, and if it actually works as an affiliate thing. I've never done affiliate things before, so if you feel like it, you can click that. If not, just go to screenpal.com and go for it. Go and find it yourself. It's a great app, highly recommended, whether you use it or not. But it would help us to fund the more production of more episodes like this. So why not do it and click the link? That's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Any comments on this will be greatly appreciated. And as always, if you'd like to leave us a review, then please do. 5 stars is always nice. Please hit subscribe, like, and share this with your friends and family. And as I said, leave us any comments, and please, any comments about any future episodes, I'd be happy to oblige. Just ping me and let me know. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.